to me, man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s.
Did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It's probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean? It definitely was some snake shit.
Jay-Z has seen his fair share of chaos, but this time he's the one catching the heat. Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have been warning people for years, saying both Jay-Z and Diddy move like they're untouchable, running the industry with intimidation and power. They've painted them as dangerous men who built their empires on fear. And now it looks like karma is finally knocking at the door. Diddy is already sitting in a cell, but whispers say Jay-Z's downfall could be even darker, maybe something far worse than prison.
Suge Knight, Irv Gotti, and Jay Prince. These four gentlemen that got together, going to put up $30 million apiece.
Contemplating doing the first black-owned distribution company.
The thing is, they wasn't trying to let us in the door. That's why I don't trust these people.
But Suge came up with the idea. It was a brilliant plan. He said, whatever the recording funds, 10% goes to the union. And each time you do a new album, 10%. It was going to be some get down or lay down shit. Shortly after that, the feds raided me.
All of us were being hit up around the same time.
Someone left that meeting talking about our move.
There was Jay-Z and Puff that went to those Leo Corner to let them know what Suge Knight was trying to do. They told Jay, if you help us get rid of Dame, we're going to make you the president of Def Jam.
Why don't we stick together and they got to come to us? For some reason, everybody just wants to do everything on their own. They don't understand collective economics.
In the streets and in the studios, people whisper that Jay-Z is a snitch, and the receipts go way back. Remember that whole situation with Lance Rivera? Jay allegedly threw money around to keep everything quiet after that 1999 stabbing incident, even though he pled guilty to third-degree assault. But here's the strange part. Lance still claims Jay never touched him. So why protect him after all these years? Simple. Lance knows the cost of talking too much. In that world, silence isn't loyalty, it's survival.
Top rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know, I'm not a...
Jay-Z shows zero remorse. None at all. He's even out here bragging in interviews, calling that whole stabbing situation with Lance one of the best things that ever happened to him. Who says something like that with a straight face? It's unreal. People can't believe how cold he sounds, like the whole incident made him stronger rather than ashamed. And what's worse, word is Jay has been keeping Lance quiet ever since, making sure the story never resurfaces. But everyone who was at the Kit Kat Club that night knows what really went down. The only person still denying it is Lance himself. And that silence says everything.
You had an incident with Rivera, you know, where you pled guilty to charges of, I don't remember exactly the charges, assault with a deadly weapon.
They would have never let me be out here with you if that was the case.
You stabbed him. Okay, all right. Do you feel like that was a mistake in hindsight?
I believe that was the greatest thing ever. This is gonna sound crazy, but I believe that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because that put the brakes on everything. That let me know that no matter how successful you are and how much you're on your road, it can all stop. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you still kids from Marcy Projects, and you know, not everybody, they waiting for you to mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We let you just go ahead and self-destruct yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that right there was a moment I was like, okay. You know, and I'm glad they didn't have to take for me to be in jail for like 7 years to be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That moment was like, okay, all that stops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to parties with 30 people, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna put myself in that position no more.
When you look at Dame still kind of living that life, you know, you could find Dame at the club, you know.
Yeah, but he's with 30 models. It's a little different. I was with the hood.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point. He's hanging at a different kind of...
First, Diddy fell. Now people say it's Jay-Z's turn. Someone is clearly cleaning house in Hollywood. It feels like the powerful are finally being hunted, and many believe Jay might be next to face the storm. Even Ice Cube stepped in, claiming he's convinced Diddy didn't simply fall, that he was set up. Think about it. One moment, Diddy was flying private jets around the world, and the next, he's down $700 million and locked behind bars. That kind of collapse doesn't just happen overnight. Something about this whole situation doesn't add up.
You're hearing Diddy everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with him?
He produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really kind of lost contact with him and really stopped, dealing with Puffy around 94. Yeah.
Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. That just ain't what I'm in it for.
Jay-Z may act like a tough guy now, but back in the day, the story was very different. Word is that during the height of the East Coast versus West Coast tension in '96, Jay-Z was so afraid of crossing paths with Tupac that he locked himself inside his Vegas hotel room. Gene Deal revealed that Suge Knight, the death row boss himself, had to step in and calm things down before things got ugly. Suge reportedly told Pac to let Jay-Z slide so the show could go on. That night, Jay didn't stand tall. He hid behind the door.
What's the story behind Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room because of Pac?
All right, what happened is that I guess Pac had got whiffed that Jay-Z was in town. Well, he gonna do a show because Jay-Z, he doing a show. But you gotta realize Jay-Z had became an enemy of Pac because I think he had said some was gonna do a song with Big or whatever like that, the whole 9 yards. So Jay is now Pac's enemy too. So Chaz Williams, who was over Black Hands. Black Hands was one of the labels who did that Black Gangster had every artist in New York on. And Chaz, who is now getting into the music business, has become a music executive. And he was once a former gangster who was on American Gangster BET because they had him down for robbing 161 banks. That's what they put in their program and everything. But Chaz was a gangster in New York City that became a music executive. So he gets a phone call saying that Jay is not gonna come out the room because Tupac threatened him. So he's not gonna do his show. Can he make some phone calls, you understand, to get Pac off the bullshit? So I think he may have talked to Big D, and Big D and Eric B called Suge, and Suge was laughing, saying that wasn't him. Because they tried to make it seem like it was Suge that was doing it, but it was Pac. So I guess Suge called Pac. Pac let him go ahead and do his show and everything like that. But Jay was scared to come out his room.
So that story was really true about Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, he was scared. Probably still is. Time I wanted to knock his head off, because he was being disrespectful. We was in Cancun and he had a personal assistant from my block named Laura. And he had brought like 6 people to the club with him and he was only supposed to get 3 people in. I was running the door at Daddy-O's from Industry Entertainment. They just told me Jay-Z only get 3 people in. So I'm at the door. I said, yo, Jay, you good? And 3 of your other guys, but the other 3 got to pay. So then he said, Laura, handle him. And at that time, the type of dude I was, you couldn't tell no woman to handle me when I'm talking to you as a man. I said, who you talking to like that? You telling her to handle me? And then me and him, he didn't say nothing. He just turned to the side. And if he'd have turned back around, he'd have got his head knocked off. But Laura told me, yo, Gene, please, Gene, you're gonna make me lose my job. You know what I'm saying? And because, one, she was beautiful, 2, she's from our block. I wasn't gonna do that to her. So I gathered myself, stepped away from the situation, you know what I'm saying? But
Even Gene admitted he wanted to knock Jay's head off back in the day. That's how deep the tension really ran. And if Jay-Z was as dangerous as everyone claims, would Gene be talking like that out loud today? It makes you wonder what Gene truly knows, and how real this beef actually was behind the scenes.
I want to say this to protect myself, that there's stories of Jay talking to underage girls. It was a girl from my block that was 16, 17 years old that Jay was talking to. If she was 17. So there's plenty of stories out there that they might flood the market of Jay talking to underage girls. I heard this kid that is claiming to be his son. His mother was 15 when she conceived him and had him at 16. And Jay refused to do a blood test or anything like that.
From your point of view, because I know you heard the statement that, Jay lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends or no?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it. But I don't know what kind of half a homo that is, and you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So, I guess that's a certain type of close.
Diddy and Jay-Z were moving in the same shady circles. And word is there are real witnesses who can back that up. People in the streets used to whisper that the two were partners in more than just music. They were involved in some deep, dark business together. Gene Deal even claimed he personally knew young people who were caught up in Jay's world. Yet somehow, Jay-Z never faced any real consequences. While Diddy's downfall made headlines across the world, Jay's been protected by industry silence and power. But that protection is cracking now. The same truth that buried Diddy is slowly creeping toward Jay too. And his whole empire might be standing on borrowed time.
Very scary happened to him. One of his close friends is speaking out and saying that while he was sleeping at the MDC Brooklyn jail, somebody came and put a knife, pressed it to his throat. Now, as I keep digging into the story, they're saying, yes, a correctional officer or a police officer was the one who came and basically helped him out and, quote unquote, saved him. Yes. And so, obviously Diddy's lawyers are trying to use this as a way to just get him even moved to a different location. But right now, everything is kind of staying as is.
Yeah, no, his safety being an issue when he's supposed to be, I think in some sort of protected environment. Remember MDC, isn't that where the Epstein situation happened?
It can't be a coincidence that just as whispers start spreading about Jay-Z being targeted, Diddy is getting attacked behind bars. In the past couple of months, there have been multiple attempts on Diddy's life. The only reason he's still breathing is because a quick-thinking corrections officer stepped in at the right moment. Somebody is clearly out for blood, and this is not random. The streets are buzzing that whoever is coming for Diddy is now setting their sights on Jay-Z next. It's looking like payback season, and the biggest names in the game are finally feeling the heat.
Is he safe though? And you say something about him getting stabbed?
I was going to say Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe, because in court we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life, that there was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers, and they say Diddy didn't even want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal, but of course they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is.
Right.
They're also having a conversation. Mark Geragos is a high profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teeny Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being in court. And we can and just attacks on his life, because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize, and to do something to him.
Well, what if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks, and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it. I don't.
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like, he's looked at as a trophy.
Call it karma or call it payback. But Diddy is finally scared. Truly scared for the first time in his life. Behind those bars, he's feeling the same fear he once made others feel. Now he's the one watching his back every second, living in the same tension he used to cause. Life has officially come full circle.
Concerned that Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted. Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I could tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison. And so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp, but he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think they're well equipped to do it if they can, to keep an eye on him, because he is a target.
So let's say he is sent to a minimum security prison. Is he out of the woods when it comes to that kind of assault?
If you're going, you and I talked about Ghislaine Maxwell, who went from the one place in Florida, which was a higher level, not a camp. And she was transferred after she did the interview with the couple-day interview. She was transferred to what they call a camp in Texas, which I'm familiar with. I've had other.
Gene Deal confirmed it. The attack on Diddy really happened. Lucy Finney, one of Diddy's closest people, was the first to speak on it. Word is, an inmate armed with a shiv slipped into Diddy's cell and tried to go after him in the middle of the night. Insane, right? And this wasn't even the first attempt on his life. This was the second. And insiders say the tension inside that prison is unreal. But the wild part is, this might not even be Diddy's biggest problem yet.
The lawyers, when they were speaking on Diddy being in prison and the circumstances him being in prison, I didn't never hear about this, and nobody ever said anything about this. And I want to know if it's in the prison records. They said one of the guards stopped a dude from shanking Diddy. Now, I'm like, if he was doing all this positive in jail, and they was talking about he was, all the inmates loved him, and they was employing him and doing standing ovation. I wonder what inmate was trying to shake him. Was that one of the Tupac? Was that one of the Tupac fans, or that was one of Biggie fans? Because they said that the guard. They said that in court. One of the lawyers, one of the guards, stopped one of the individuals that was trying to shank him, bro. And that was crazy. Nobody, I never, that didn't leak. Everything leaks from prison, but that didn't leak. Nobody wrote home and said, yo, dudes is in here trying to stab Diddy up. But the lawyers mentioned that today. I want to see if they're going to investigate that right there. You know what I'm saying? And base that, or he probably used that, base that on trying to help Diddy getting into one of those camps or one of those programs that, you know, he ain't got to worry about nothing.
Let's not forget, Jay-Z doesn't have the kind of protection Diddy had. Diddy had serious backup because he was allegedly working with the feds as an informant, which kept him safe even when things got heated. But Jay? His safety came from powerful industry connections. The kind of people who could make problems disappear with one phone call. If those elites are done with him now, that means the shield is gone. And Jay is out here with nobody left to cover his back.
I mean, what this guy did is disgusting. I don't think there's a person alive, a man or a woman, especially women, who are not going to hate this guy. Whatever he did was completely disgusting. It's beyond criminal. I don't even know what it is. I look at it like he disgraced everybody. He disgraced the black race by being a black man. I know a lot of black people and they hate him for it because it painted a picture towards all of them. I think it's being followed all over the world. If he's not found guilty or he's cut free or he does a short amount of time, I mean, I could only imagine what the whole world would think. This is a disgusting country. So there's a lot of things.
Sammy, if you would, give me your comparison. I mean, listen, guys in the mob did some terrible, terrible things. The murders were gruesome and violent and painful, and they served a purpose. They were meant to terrify people into staying in line, right? Compare that to the things that you've heard alleged from the witness stand and testimony under oath from a lot of these young women and some of the young men who were his assistants. Compare the guys in the mob to the stuff you're hearing alleged against Diddy.
If we did that in the mob, we would be killed for it. We would never touch women and children and stuff like that. So that's against our rules, our principles. We would never get away with something like that. There was a guy, Roy DeMeo and Gas Pipe, who became serial killers for no reason, and they were killed. So, I mean, if he was in the mafia, he would, and we knew what he was doing, he would have been, there would be no trouble.
The stuff Diddy and Jay-Z were mixed up in isn't some small-time drama. It's the kind of dirt that can cost a man his life. Michael Franzese, a former capo in the infamous Colombo crime family, even said straight up that if someone like Diddy had pulled those same moves in the mafia, he wouldn't have lasted a single day. The moment they found out what he was doing, it would have been over. No questions. And the crazy part is, Franzese said the same rules apply to Jay-Z. Not even the mob would turn a blind eye to that kind of betrayal.
Go on for so long. You know, when we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
He was not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, oh, he's not. It's the reason why these type of people get caught up. They always been telling they bigger than the law because they...
Jay-Z burned every bridge he ever had, and now he's standing alone with nobody left to call. The one man who might have helped him, Diddy, is locked up and definitely not answering any calls for backup. The irony is wild because when Diddy's world first started collapsing, Jay distanced himself fast, acting like they were never even close. So why would Diddy help him now? Loyalty doesn't survive betrayal. And Jay is learning the hard way that when things fall apart, fake friendships disappear instantly.
Like I said, Biggie died, Tupac died, and then there was the fight between who was the top rapper now, Nas and Jay-Z, and then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all Jay-Z.
And it's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all those records together. They both, Aaliyah. They shared so much in common. You know? And then there was a falling out. And That's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks.
Jay-Z isn't the only one who built his empire by stepping on the people closest to him. Diddy was right there doing the same thing. Word is, he was collecting blackmail on the biggest names in the industry. Gene Deal even claimed Diddy used to throw those wild industry parties and secretly record what went down, just so he could use the footage against people later. That's manipulation on another level. Both Jay and Diddy used power, fear, and secrets to climb to the top. Two sides of the same twisted coin.
All about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know did nobody in America like that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's some about the music, clothing, movies. They're not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them. And they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey buddy, we got you on this tape, and the girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking, and they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape.
Now Diddy is fighting for his life behind those prison walls. Beyonce is allegedly preparing to walk away for good. And the same streets that once praised Jay-Z are now waiting to watch him fall. Gene Deal swears Jay's time is almost up. And when the truth finally breaks loose, no amount of fame or influence will be able to protect him. The empire he built might collapse right in front of everyone. Thanks for watching. If you want to stay locked in and catch every update the moment it drops, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single twist in this wild downfall. See you in the next one.